when I was unemployed. How did I pray to God? Losing a job can feel like one of the toughest chapters in life. It's not just about losing a paycheck. It's the worry about bills piling up, the uncertainty about what's next, and that sinking feeling of being disconnected from the world. When you're unemployed, your mind can spiral with questions. How am I going to make it? Will I ever find something new? Does anyone even need me anymore? It's heavy stuff, and it can weigh you down like a ton of bricks. But here's the thing. In those dark moments, prayer can be a lifeline, a way to find peace, hope, and even a little direction from God. Today I'm going to walk you through some simple, practical steps to pray effectively when you're out of work, with real-life examples to make it feel doable and close to home. Create a quiet space. Before you even start praying, you need a quiet space. Life's noisy enough as it is. Cars honking, people talking, your own thoughts running wild. When you're jobless, that noise can feel louder because you've got all this extra time to overthink everything. A quiet space is like hitting the pause button. It gives you a chance to step away from the chaos and just be with yourself and with God. Picture this, a little corner in your house where you can breathe. Maybe it's a cozy chair by the window where the sunlight sneaks in, or a small table with a candle, a Bible, and a plant that makes you feel calm. If you're in a busy city and silence is hard to come by, grab some headphones and play soft music or ocean waves. Instant peace. Or if you're near a park, head out early in the morning when it's still quiet, the air's fresh, and you can hear the birds instead of traffic. I've got a friend who went through a rough patch after losing his job. He told me he felt trapped in his own house. Bills staring him down, family checking in, asking about work. One day he grabbed a folding chair, went to a river near his place, and just sat there watching the water flow. He didn't hear a big booming voice from God, but that quiet by the river, it calmed him down. He started praying there every day, and it gave him a tiny spark of hope that things would work out. So how do you make your own space? Keep it simple. Pick a spot in your home where you feel at ease. Doesn't have to be fancy. Add a few things that relax you. Light a candle. Lavender or vanilla works wonders. Hang a picture of nature or Jesus that lifts your spirit, or toss a comfy pillow there. If you like jotting stuff down, keep a notebook and pen handy for thoughts that pop up while you pray. Every time you step into that space, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and picture it's just you and God hanging out. No distractions, no stress, just you two. This quiet space isn't just physical, it's a heart thing too. Some days your mind's going to race with worries about money or what's next. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up if you can't focus right away. God's patient with you, so be patient with yourself. If your thoughts wander, just whisper something like, God, I'm here to hear you, and let it flow. Over time, that spot will feel like a safe haven, a little escape from the storm of life. Here's an example. Imagine it's a rainy afternoon. You're in your prayer corner, rain tapping the window, a candle flickering softly. You pick up your Bible, flip to Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing, and read it slow. You close your eyes and let those words sink in. The world outside might be a mess, but right here, right now, you feel God with you. Quiet, steady, like a friend who's got your back. That's what a quiet space can do. Start with gratitude. Once you're in your quiet spot, kick things off with gratitude. I know. When you're unemployed, saying thanks might feel weird. Everything's falling apart, right? But hear me out. Gratitude isn't about pretending life's perfect. It's about finding those small glimmers of good stuff that are still there, even in the mess. It shifts your focus from what's gone wrong to what's still right, and that can lighten your load just enough to keep going. Think about it. Even on the worst days, there's something to be thankful for. Maybe it's waking up with your health intact, a warm meal on the table, or friends and family who stick by you when you're down. Gratitude's like an anchor. It doesn't fix everything, but it keeps you from drifting too far into despair. It's a reminder that you're not alone, that God's still holding you up. I met this older lady at church once, Miss Rose. She got laid off after years at her job and hit rock bottom. Depression, the works. She'd sit in her room all day, wondering why life was so unfair. Then one morning, she saw a little bird singing on her balcony, even in the rain. It hit her. She could still see beauty, hear music, feel love. She started praying, God, thank you for my eyes that see this world, my ears that hear this bird, my heart that still beats for you. She kept it up, thanking God for tiny things every day. It didn't bring her job back overnight, but it gave her the strength to dust off her resume and try again, and eventually she landed something new. You can start small too. Sit in your quiet space, close your eyes, and tell God what you're grateful for. Try this. God, thanks for the sunrise I saw today, the coffee that warmed me up, the people who still check on me even when I've got nothing to brag about. Don't just say it. Feel it. Let each thank you settle into your heart like rain soaking dry ground. Gratitude's not just words, it's a way of living. Some days it's hard to find anything good. Bills are due, another rejection email lands in your inbox. When that happens, remember it doesn't have to be big. Thank God for the lessons in the struggle, the patience you're building, the chance to try again tomorrow. Every thanks is a brick in your wall of hope, helping you stand tall through the tough stuff. Picture this. You've had a rotten day. No callbacks, bank account screaming, you feel worthless. But then, in your prayer spot, you spot a family photo on the wall. You smile and say, God, thanks for my loved ones who believe in me, for the good times we've had, for you sticking with me when I'm lost. A few minutes of that, and it's like a weight lifts. Not all the way, but enough to breathe again. Share your worries. After gratitude, don't hold back. Spill your worries to God. Prayer's not some stiff ritual where you've got to sound polished or tough. It's a heart-to-heart with your best friend who never judges. When you're out of work, you're probably carrying a mess of feelings. Fear about the future, frustration from dead-end efforts, maybe even anger at how unfair it all feels. Lay it all out there. God's not just here for the praise, He wants your pain too. Imagine you're sitting across from God in your quiet space. No need to fake it. Let the tears fall, the sighs escape. Just say what's real. Like, God, I'm scared. My savings are almost gone, and I don't know how I'll get by. I've sent out tons of applications, and it's crickets. I feel useless and lost. Help me, even just a little light to show me the way. When you let it out, trust He's listening, not with a stern look, but with a heart full of love. I knew a guy from my prayer group who lost his job right before his wife had their first kid. The pressure crushed him, sleepless nights, constant stress. One night, everyone else asleep, he sat in the living room and broke down. He prayed, God, I don't know what to do. I'm terrified I can't provide. I'm mad at myself for not planning better, mad at the world. Give me strength to get through. He said it felt like an invisible hand lifted him up after that. The job didn't come right away, but he found calm, started free online courses, and eventually scored a new gig. Sharing your worries isn't weak. It's handing your burdens to God, who's strong enough to carry them. Some days it'll feel like your prayers aren't answered fast enough. Don't give up. God might not change your situation on the spot, but He'll change your heart, giving you peace, patience, or a fresh way to see things. Here's a scene you just gotta know from a job you really wanted. Hands shaky, phone in your lap, you pray, God, I gave it my all, but it's still not enough. I'm tired of waiting, tired of rejection. Show me what's next, even a tiny sign. You close your eyes, let the silence wrap around you. Maybe the answer's not instant, but your heart settles like God's whispering, "You're not alone, I'm right here." When you're out of work, your first instinct might be to scramble for anything that pays. But in that rush, you might miss the doors God's already opening. Praying for guidance isn't just asking for help. It's inviting God to show you opportunities you haven't even thought of yet. It's a boost of motivation and a chance to see new possibilities. Imagine you're at a foggy crossroads, unsure which way to turn. Prayer's like a compass. It might not point straight to the finish line, but it nudges you in the right direction. When you ask God to guide you, you're trusting He's got a bigger picture in mind, even if you can't see it yet. Try praying something like this. God, I'm lost and don't know where to start. Please open new doors for me. Show me job opportunities I might have overlooked. Maybe it's a field I've never tried, a place I don't think I'm qualified for, or someone who'll point me the right way. Give me the wisdom to spot your path and the courage to take it, even if I can't see the end. It's not just a plea, it's handing over the reins and letting God lead. I've got a buddy, Mark, who lost his retail job after years. He kept hunting for the same old gigs, but nothing clicked. One day, he prayed for guidance. Sipping coffee, he remembered how he used to love crafting stuff as a hobby. He said, "God, if this is a sign, show me." A few days later, he stumbled on a local ad for a craft workshop teacher. He went for it, and it turned into a steady gig in a creative field he'd never considered. Sometimes God doesn't just open a door, He builds a whole new road. Don't just pray and wait. Reflect too. Think about your skills, passions, connections. Maybe God's using this time to nudge you out of your comfort zone. Loved writing, but never tried it professionally? Ask Him for a chance to start. His guidance often hides in life's little details, and prayer sharpens your eyes to see them. Make it daily. Each morning, before job hunting, pray, "God, walk with me today. Show me opportunities I might miss, a random call, a job post, a new idea. I trust you'll get me where I need to be." Then stay open. Maybe you'll bump into an old friend with a lead or get a sudden urge to learn a skill. That's God at work, quiet but powerful. After pouring out your heart, wrap up by trusting God's got you. It's tough to believe when you're jobless and stressed, but trust is like a lighthouse. It keeps you from getting lost in the dark. Saying "I trust you" isn't just comforting yourself, it's declaring that no matter what, you're not alone. There's a plan, even if it's unfolding slow. Think of trust as a life preserver. Waves crashing, you're panicking, but grab that trust and you stay afloat. Ending with faith lets you let go of needing to control it all, handing your future to the one who knows you best. Try this. God, I know you've got a good plan for me, even if I can't see it now. I trust you're working in the little things, my failures, my hopes, the opportunities coming. I'll keep looking for work, believing you're guiding me, and it'll all work out your way. It's a promise to yourself. You don't have to carry this alone. I know a single mom, Lisa, who lost her job during a company cutback. She'd cry at night, worried for her kid. But every prayer she'd end with, "I trust you've never left me, and I'll wait for your timing." That faith calmed her. She started small, part-time baking gigs, and a customer eventually hooked her up with a steady job. She told me, "If I didn't trust, I'd have given up." Prayer kept me going. Trust isn't sitting still. It's fuel to act with hope. When you believe God's steering, every step feels less pointless. Sending a resume? It's not desperate. It's part of His plan. Write "I trust you" on a sticky note. Stick it on your mirror or desk. Every glance reminds you you're steady, ready for what's ahead. Do this daily. After praying, whisper, "I trust you, God. I don't know tomorrow, but I know you've got me." Take a deep breath. Start your day feeling you've got a reliable partner. Tough days won't break you. That trust lights the way. Listen in silence after praying. Prayer's not just talking, it's listening too. After you've shared and trusted, sit quiet for a bit. In that stillness, you might catch a new idea, a comforting vibe, or even a fix for your troubles. It's not always a loud answer, but it deepens your bond with God and yourself. Picture sending a letter to a close friend, then waiting for their reply. You don't rush off, you linger, hoping for a word back. Listening in prayers like that. You've said your piece. Now open your heart, not your ears, to what comes next. That silence is space for God to fill. Try this. After praying, sit still for 5 to 10 minutes. Phone off, eyes closed, breathe deep and slow. Don't force it. Just let your mind float like a calm river. Maybe you'll think of a friend who could help, or a tweak for your resume. Or maybe you'll just feel peace, like a hug from God. My friend Dave was jobless for almost a year. He'd pray, then sit quiet on his couch. No big expectations. One day in that silence, he remembered a free coding course he'd ignored. He signed up and it landed him a tech job later. He said, "I didn't hear God's voice like in movies, but I'm sure those quiet moments were His answers." Listening's tricky when you're stressed. Some days your mind's a mess and silence feels empty. That's okay. Be patient, like waiting for a flower to bloom. If it's hard, whisper, "God, I'm listening. Talk to me your way." Then let it be. It'll come when it's time. Make it a habit. Post prayer, sit quiet a few minutes. Sip tea, stare out the window, or lean back. Don't rush off. Soak in what you just prayed. Over time, that stillness isn't just a break. It's where strength and ideas grow. Join a prayer group or faith community. Praying solo's great, but sometimes you need people. Unemployment can make you feel isolated, like the world's moved on without you. A prayer group or faith community lifts that loneliness. It's support, positivity, and a reminder you're not in this alone. Think of it as a spiritual family. When you're down, they pray for you, cheer you on. When you're up, you help them. It's a circle of hope where no one's left out. Sharing your story, hearing theirs, it's a team effort to lean on God together. Try joining a local church prayer group. If you're shy, tons of online groups meet via Zoom, cozy and easy. Or volunteer, hand out food, tutor kids. It gets you out of your head and connects you with folks who might even know about jobs. I met Sarah at a small prayer group. She lost her tourism job during the pandemic. Doors slammed shut. The group prayed with her, encouraged her, and one member hooked her up with an events company gig. She said staying home praying alone wouldn't have cut it. The community changed everything. It's not just taking, it's giving too. Share your struggles or hopes. You might spark courage in someone else without knowing. Tell how you're waiting on God, and it could lift a friend who's ready to quit. That connection makes your journey bigger than just surviving. Step out a bit. Find a group nearby. Ask friends, check churches, or Google. Try one meeting just to feel it out. If it clicks, share a little. Ask for prayers. You'll be amazed how love and group prayer hold you up. Pair prayer with action. Prayer's your rock, but it's not a substitute for doing. God often works through your hands and hustle. When you ask for guidance, back it up with a solid plan to job hunt. Action shows your faith. You trust He's with you every step. Picture prayer and action as a bird's wings. One wing won't fly. You need both. Prayer gives peace and direction. Action turns it real. Together, you're not just waiting, you're walking God's path. Start simple. Update your resume. Add new skills. Polish it up. List 10 dream companies. Research them. Send tailored applications. Sign up for a short course. Free ones on Coursera or Udemy, like communication or coding. Spend 1 to 2 hours daily on these, praying, "God, bless my efforts today." My friend Paul lost his construction job. He prayed daily but got moving too. Mornings tweaking his resume, afternoons job searching, evenings learning English online. He said, "Prayer gave me strength, but God wanted me to step up." Months later, he snagged a part-time gig that grew into more. It was prayer plus action. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start small. Today, email one application. Tomorrow, call a contact. Each moves a brick in your future. Pray while you go. God, I'm trying bit by bit. Make it grow. You'll see progress, and your faith will deepen. Hold on to Bible verses about patience and faith. The Bible's your cheerleader when unemployment hits. Verses about patience, faith, hope. They're not just comfort. They're a roadmap to keep your spirit strong. Memorizing and reflecting on them lights up even your darkest days. Think of the Bible as a friend with perfect pep talks. Tired of waiting? Disappointed? Scripture says God's timing's spot on. Take Philippians 4:6. Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. It's a nudge. Worry won't fix it, but prayer with trust will calm you. Or Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Chaos all around? Breathe. Read that. Know He's in charge. Jeremiah 29:11's a gem too. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not harm you, plans for hope and a future. It's a promise, tough now, but good's coming. A girl I know, Jenny, kept a notebook of favorite verses. Jobless, she'd read them daily. The Lord's my shepherd, I lack nothing. Psalm 23:1 chased her fears away. She wrote it on her whiteboard, a daily hug from God, she said. Pick 3 to 5 verses you love, jot them down, or save them on your phone. Read one aloud daily. Think, what's it saying to me now? Worried about cash? Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds. Your heavenly Father feeds them. Ask, if He cares for them, what's He doing for me? Those words sink in, fueling you up. Share your story after you make it. Once you're through, new job, storm past, don't keep it to yourself. Sharing lifts your gratitude and lights someone else's way. Your story proves hard times aren't the end, they're a launch pad. Sharing's a gift. God guided you. Now pass it on. It doesn't need drama, just honesty touches hearts. Talk about your lows, how you prayed when you saw God show up. Try a blog, How I Found Hope in Unemployment, your journey from sleepless nights to that first paycheck. Or a YouTube vid, Sit, Say, I thought I'd never make it, but prayer and grit got me here. You can too. Even chat with a struggling friend. Your realness can push them forward. My friend Tony, ex-ad guy, shared his story after landing a new job. He hosted a little meetup, said, unemployment's not the end. I prayed, pushed, and God opened doors. Someone messaged later. His words got them job hunting again after quitting. Sharing's thanking God too. Each retell shows how you've grown, boosting your joy. Start small. A social media post like, thank God for getting me through the roughest days. Or film a quick vid, 3 lessons you learned. You'll feel the win, and others will too. Wrap up. Unemployment's a beast, but prayer brings peace, guidance, and power to push through. Ask God to lead, trust His plan, listen quietly, team up with others, act with faith, lean on Scripture, share your wins. Each step rebuilds you. You're not alone. God's there. People are too. Open up to peace. Hang in there. Keep hoping. You'll not only survive, you'll shine, maybe even light someone else's path. Here's to peace and luck ahead. After watching, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I have many good videos to share. Learn to give, and God will give you peace.